Right, Monday Night Raw starts off with a CM Punk promo. Of course, he ends up mentioning what happens at Bad Blood, mentioning, the brutal match of Hell in a Cell they had with Drew McIntyre. He tried to walk towards the ramp, towards the ring, but he couldn't. He stopped towards the entrance ramp. He ends up mentioning his injuries, mentioning how severe they are, mentioning basically he could barely move his body, selling the injuries, of course. Then he ends up mentioning that he talked about how he won the match, but he doesn't feel like he actually won it in. He said that after he beat Drew McIntyre, he didn't feel satisfied, he didn't feel happy, he just felt he didn't feel anything. And he ends up saying that he doesn't know the next chapter in his life and that he doesn't know what's next. Then he's about to leave, but Seth Rollins' theme music hits. He walks up towards CM Punk and they have a stare down. They just stare at each other for a bit, and then Seth Rollins ends up he didn't shove him, but he ends up he walks into CM Punk's shoulder, giving him a little bit of disrespect because he still don't like him. I can't wait for this feud to happen. This feud is most likely going to happen probably around December-ish, probably, because they're probably going to write CM Punk off for a bit. Probably going to start that feud around December, maybe January to build up towards the Rumble, but I can't wait for this shoot because this was the original plan. This is the original dream match that we all wanted. We eventually pivoted to Drew McIntyre, and then we all started wanting Drew versus Punk. But this was the original feud that we all wanted when CM Punk first came back, and I can't wait till we get it because this feud is gonna hit. This can be arguably better than Drew McIntyre and Punk, and which is crazy because that feud was amazing. But this feud can arguably be better. But I can't wait to see when these two actually end up actually feuding because that feud should be amazing. But Seth Rollins then gets to the ring. He cuts a promo. He basically ends up talking about wanting his revenge on Bronson Reed. And he basically says that he wants a match against Bronson Reed and he can pick the time and the place. And that this time he will be well prepared for him when he eventually announced when they're going to have that match. I'm going to be honest. I'm happy that Seth Rollins is back, but I am a bit concerned. Because if you guys watch my channel, you guys should know based on how I speak on certain wrestlers, how I speak on certain things, I'm typically on the side of build the new star. Anytime a younger or let's just say a less known wrestler is facing a main eventer and they have a chance to get elevated, I'm typically on the side of having the lesser talent win. In this case, Bronson Reed. Now, Seth Rollins is winning this feud without a doubt. I know this. I'm not even going to get my hopes up. But typically, I'm on the side of build a new star. Now, Seth Rollins is going to win this feud simply because they got to build towards CM Punk and Seth Rollins, and you need both of them to be booked strong. So it makes sense why he wins. I just hope that they do it in a way where he doesn't lose momentum and where Bronson Reed doesn't look weak. Because you still need to have him booked strong while losing, which can be very difficult at times. So I hope they continue that. So, and I hope this isn't just a one match thing. They need to at least have a couple matches, 1-2 matches where they could do a 2-1 split where Bronson Reed wins one and Seth wins two. Don't know how they would do it, but hopefully they book Bronson Reed where he doesn't look weak and that he can still be booked strong after losing. Now we ended up getting an Intercontinental Championship match between Jey Uso versus Xavier Woods. This match was fairly quick, actually, due to Raw being only 2 hours. It's going to be 2 hours for the rest of the year until they move over to Netflix. Jey Uso ends up retaining his championship, of course, but after the match was very interesting. Jey Uso is trying to, congratulate, trying to consult with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. He tries to shake Xavier Woods' hand, but he doesn't shake Xavier Woods' hand. Slowly building up, Xavier being, getting more and more vicious, more and more angry, not shaking his hand after the match. They end up leaving the ring, but then Jey is celebrating, and then out of nowhere, Braun Breaker ends up spearing Jey Uso, comes back and then attack Jey Uso. Kofi Kingston was talking to Xavier to try to send out help, them to help Jey Uso, but Xavier didn't want to help him, which is another slowly building up that Xavier is getting more and more ruthless. Doesn't want to help Jey Uso. Kofi Kingston tries to come in the ring and help, but he ended up getting packed up. He ended up getting speared as well, which ends up letting Braun Breaker to continue to attack Jey Uso. That's very interesting that Xavier didn't want to help Jey Uso, because if you guys remember when Drew McIntyre first turned heel back in like last year of like 2023, if I'm not mistaken. Wait, I may be misremembering. Yeah, last year of like 2023, when he first originally turned heel, Then when Jey Uso first moved over to Raw, when Drew McIntyre was like, being annoying to Jey Uso because of the whole bloodline stuff, it was the New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, who was advocating for Jey Uso. They was cutting promos against Drew McIntyre, talking about how Drew should, accept Jey and all that. And it's funny how Xavier now didn't want to help Jey, which is actually kind of crazy. But I love this. I love that Braun Breaker attacked Jey Uso because I was very fearful that they was going to do the thing that I hate, is when they do the thing where if a wrestler is popular, you just turn them babyface. I hate that idea. I really hate that idea. Thank God they're reverting back because, man, I hate that. I hate what they did on NXT with Jada Parker and Lola Vice. I hate it now. Now, I'm cool with it depending on how you do it. For example, Rhea Ripley is a perfect example. She's popular and they turn her face because of her popularity, but they gave her a story which made her turn face. Her losing everything. You need to have the heel you need to have them go through something to make them become a babyface. Can't just have them become a babyface because they lost one match. Sorry, that's stupid. You need to have more story. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Roman. Roman is a babyface because he lost his bloodline. He lost everything. He lost Paul Heyman, lost the bloodline. You know what I'm saying? You need something to make them want to become better, to become a better person. When you just have them turn face just to turn face because they're popular, like, come on. But I like this, and they're most likely going to have their match at Crown Jewel, which you can make the case that Braun Breaker probably is going to win it back, but we'll see how that plays out. Now we end up getting a quick segment with The Miz, Karrion Kross, and R-Truth. The Miz is basically tired. He's tired of R-Truth shenanigans. He's tired of constantly having to carry the weight of Awesome Truth. Tired of constantly being thrown into random matches. He's just tired of R-Truth shenanigans. R-Truth comes in, tries to, try to consult with The Miz, and he ends up thinking that The Miz attacked him on accident because he thinks he's in the Judgment Day. The Miz let him know that that's not the truth. R-Truth ends up doing what he typically does, and he tries to make another match with R-Truth. He tries to get him another match, but Miz ends up stopping him, ends up saying that he wants a match with R-Truth. So next week, we're going to get Miz and R-Truth. And I love that Karrion Kross is playing this guy who just turns every person he hangs out with into a bad person. I love that character. I love it. Even though it's something small that they're doing with him, it's better than what they've been trying to do with trying to get him really over, because he's not getting over with the crowd. So him being in these little backstage segments, I really do like. I love that he's being this, like, I don't know what you call it. Like, I know it's something for it where a person just turns every person into like a villain, or like, I don't know what you call it, but I love what they've been doing with Karrion Kross. Like, with every person he's encountering, it just becomes a heel. I love what they've been doing. Now we get Sheamus versus Pete Dunne in I forgot what the match was called, but this was a really good match. This was a really, really, really good match. Really fun match. So, we had a very cool spot. Where Sheamus ends up doing, I don't know if it's called a back. I'm highly doubt I'm saying the wrong move, but he ended up doing like a backbreaker on top of some barrels through a table on Pete Dunne. That was a very sick spot. But towards the end of the match, and this is where everything goes downhill. Towards the end of the match, Pete Dunne is getting the advantage. He ends up getting a zip tie and ends up zip tying Sheamus' hands behind his back. So Sheamus cannot use his hand. He's basically handcuffed. But somehow, Sheamus still wins the match, and Sheamus ends up hitting a bro kick to pick up the victory. Okay, look, I knew Sheamus was going to win this match before the match started. I knew he was going to win. That's not my issue. My issue isn't Sheamus winning. Well, it kind of is, but I knew Sheamus was going to win. My issue is that how he's winning. Now, I'm typically not the person to hate a wrestler because I don't like how they're booked. I typically blame booking the booking and hate the booker instead of the wrestler, which I think most wrestling fans should do. But I understand when wrestling fans hate the wrestler instead of the booker, because I'm starting out like Sheamus, because some of the way he's winning is starting to make me mad. Why? Why did you make him win while getting handcuffed? Like, I already hate when babyfaces win matches when they have a leg injury. Now you're telling me that Sheamus is winning matches while being handcuffed? Like, we can't be serious right now. Look, I'm cool with guys like Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton winning matches like this. But Sheamus, I get Sheamus used to be a main eventer, but he's not that anymore. Like, we can't be serious right now. Like I said, I think Pete Dunne should have won this match, but I'm cool if he lost. But why did you have to get him handcuffed and then he still lose to a man that's handcuffed? Like that makes no sense. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. You guys let me know if I'm tripping. Maybe I'm just too biased. Maybe I just have the wrong thinking. You guys let me know. But like, come on. Like, why is he losing matches getting like why is Sheamus winning matches handcuffed? Like, we can't be serious right now. Now we end up getting a 10 woman tag team match between Unholy Unit and PFC are on the same team versus Natalia, Lyra Valkyria, the KCs, and Selena Vega. I'm gonna be honest. This was actually a decent match, but I'm not gonna talk that much about the tag team division, the women's tag team division, on my channel that much in these reviews, mainly because they're not important, and I really don't have much to say because I have given up on the tag team division for the women in general because we all know that the tag division don't matter unless you're Bianca and Jade, and until they drop those titles, we all know that it's not gonna mean anything. So, yeah, I may talk about it here, and I'm still going to talk about it, but they're going to be very, very short. You're rarely going to hear me rant about. You're not going to hear me rant about it as much because we all know that the tag division for the women don't matter unless you're JD Bianca. So yeah, the babyfaces ended up winning, and PFC lose another match like they always do. Now we get the main event: Sami Zayn versus Gunther. This was a really great match. This was a great match. This was a really great match. Some very interesting moments, man. It was some moments where I really thought Sami was actually going to win. It was a moment where Gunther ended up hitting a power bomb and he ended up kicking out at the 1 count, which was crazy. But Gunther, I don't know why I said Sheamus, but Gunther eventually ends up winning with having him in the headlock. Um, I'm not. I am a bit disappointed because I really wanted Sami Zayn to win. I really feel like Gunther needs that guy that he has to overcome because I like dominant champions. I do, but it only works if you have story. Now, so far they've been doing a decent job with Gunther with his stories, but it could get very difficult to book around guys like Gunther, etc. So that's my only issue. I really wanted Sami to win. I really did. I really felt like it would have made a great story. Sami finally getting that World Heavyweight Championship, especially if you insert him back with the bloodline. Imagine him and Jey Uso both are champions that didn't need Roman help either. Like, I feel like that could have been good. I really wanted Sami to win. I really feel like Gunther should have that one guy that they can't put down, that they really struggle against. They have that kryptonite. You know what I'm saying? Like, Randy Orton, even as a heel, had that John Cena. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need that one person that you just can't beat. Or even if you can beat them, they're like an annoyance. You get what I'm saying? Now they're trying to do this whole thing where every person Gunther beats, Gunther is basically rectifying all of his losses. They did the thing with Randy Orton, rectified that little hiccup at King of the Ring. Now they're doing it with Sami, and it looks like they're finna do it with Cody, because if you remember, Cody eliminated Gunther back-to-back Rumbles, if I'm not mistaken. So if they end up making Gunther win at Crown Jewel, that's another thing they're rectifying. So it looks like they're trying to take away all the losses that Gunther lost. So eventually it looks like they're going to probably do Damian Priest eventually down the road as well. So overall, I thought it was a good Monday Night Raw. A lot of people are saying it was bad. It felt rushed, which it was a bit rushed, but it's 2 hours. It's the first 2 hour show. We got to give Triple H some time. But overall, I enjoyed the show. But you guys let me know your opinions down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.